All right, guys. I think we're live. Here. Tyson, dude, it's been. I guess we'll wait for a little bit until some people hop in the chat. But man, I mean, it's been a crazy legal tampering period. Obviously we're like 1.5 days in. We've literally seen over 90 players get signed. It's crazy. We're seeing blockbuster moves. Kirk Cousins to the Atlanta Falcons. Uh, man. Brian Burns getting traded to the Giants. Like there is a lot of things happening here. Just like trades. It's going nuts, right? But the New York Jets, we haven't really done a whole lot as far as like the blockbuster style of moves. The Calvin Ridleys of the world. Tyron Smith is still out there. Mike Onwenu. I know we were texting a little bit about it yesterday.
Yep.
He's off the board with New England. It doesn't really feel or seem like the Jets are going to be doing anything differently compared to, previous years. It seems like we're just kind of going in with that second, third wave of free agent mentality and just trying to, I guess, find bargains, if you will. What do you make of the Jets' current signings and I guess their approach so far?
To be honest, I'm not really surprised. Once Connor Hughes started saying, temper your expectations, the Jets aren't going to spend big and all these different things, I was like, you know what? This is going to be the same old Joe Douglas where he's going to, first wave of free agency, he's kind of like, he shows interest, but then he slowly but surely, pragmatically signs players, tries to get the best value he can, which is a little bit surprising to where the Jets are at and the holes they have in a win now year. But to be honest, as of right now, I'm not really surprised, but I also think they are still capable of pulling out a couple big moves right here. There's a couple guys out there. Ridley, I know they're saying Ridley may go back to Jacksonville, but Tyron Smith, I think the Jets are still in a good space to go for like a big strike here.
Yeah, dude, 100%. I mean, that's the beauty in it all. You're looking at, oh shoot, all the entire chat just popped up. What's going on, guys? Literally all the comments came in at once.
I just saw that too.
Sweet Brett, what's up, man? Mitt, Bat, Harry, JD, JJ, K dude, what's going on, man? Toads, Alex, what's up? Dave, Bob, Jets fan, dude, you guys are the real ones. All right, so Tyson, like you said, man, I think the silver lining here, yes, we haven't really taken that big swing yet, but
they can.
There's still so many talented prospects out there. Now it does kind of feel like as the minutes/hours go by, like one or two will get taken off the board.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we did get the Adam Schefter update suggesting that the New England Patriots are making a heavy push for Calvin Ridley, but he wants to return to Jacksonville. Nothing regarding the New York Jets. And we heard, multiple reporters like link the Jets to Ridley as like, a potential top wide receiver option. But since then we've heard it's just been radio silence pretty much, which is, I got to be honest, disappointing for me.
Well, I mean, but the other thing too, though, sorry to cut you off, but the other thing with Ridley is he may be getting grossly overpaid and the Jets are like, you know what? We're not going to give you top of the market money. We'd rather go Tyler Boyd. If you're going to spend crazy money, maybe go out to T. Higgins. Maybe go trade for, Cortland Sutton. There's other things to do. So the price could, because Ridley could be such like an astronomical number that it's like, you know what? Screw this. We'll go in a different direction. And I don't hate him for it. But if like Tyler Boyd starts going somewhere else and Curtis Samuel's gone, then you'll be like, what in the hell are we doing? But it's like yesterday was interesting because like Jets fans are freaking out. Like, we didn't get this, we didn't get that. But there's still guys out there, man. Like, you got to give it a couple more days. But wide receiver is really, really fascinating right now.
Well, let me ask you this, though, because you talked to, go back to wide receiver here. And JJ, you made a great point. Yeah, we brought in Tyrod. Fantastic. We brought in Kinlaw and, Simpson. We haven't really, like, upgraded the team. Like, Kinlaw and, Tyrod and Simpson, like, these guys aren't going to be – those aren't these, pieces that are they're not hitting the Jets and – catapulting them in front of Baltimore and Kansas City.
Right.
It just seems like we're kind of replacing at first, right? We're replacing the team needs from an internal level, right? We lose Lakin, we got to replace him first. Mm-hmm. We don't have a veteran quarterback. We're going to trade Zach. We got to replace him first.
Right.
That type of thing. We lose Al Woods. We lose Solomon. We lose Quentin Jefferson. We got to replace him first. It seems like that's kind of that's been the approach here. But in regards to Ridley, if that's kind of the mindset, right? If Ridley's asking for too much, why wouldn't the Jets just try to push and get something done with Tyler Boyd now?
I agree. That's where I'm at right now. It's like you assess the market pretty quickly, and the way these stories are coming out now between the Jaguars and Patriots. If I'm the Jets, I'm not getting in a bidding war now. Like, you know what? I'm out. I'm in Tyler Boyd, Curtis Samuel. Try to explain any kind of trade options. People talking about Keenan Allen, Cortland Sutton, guys like that. I'm all about that, man. The one guy I want to ask you about, because it's all over my Twitter account right now, is Deontay Johnson with the Steelers. What do you think about him in terms of trading for him? Because obviously he wants out. There's kind of whatever love lost on both sides there. What do you think happens there?
Dude, I like Deontay Johnson. I do. The quickness, the yards after catch. He always kind of intrigued me. He kind of just has this weird like element to his game that I'm just like attracted to. Like Le'Veon Bell had the same type of draw.
Yeah.
Right, where you're just watching him and, it's not like the numbers or, fantasy or touchdowns or whatever. It's just like something about his game, it stands out. But Johnson, has a drop problem. Definitely has a tendency to kind of go horizontal or trying to make a big play out of nothing, or, we'll take like an 8-yard slant and try to kick it back inside. And all of a sudden he loses 5 yards. It's a gain of 3 on a third down. It's like, oh, what are we doing? Like, there's a reason why he's probably going to, I don't want to say probably going to leave the Steelers, but there's a reason why these conversations are being talked about here. But he's an upgrade. He's an upgrade.
What would be, if you had your top 3 wish list at wide receiver right now in terms of either trade or free agent, what would it be?
Top 3 wish list, man. It's a good question. I'm still in on Ridley, but I guess realistically speaking, it does seem like the Jets are going to be out on that, unfortunately. I'm going to be pissed. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be pissed if the Patriots land Ridley.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of a problem in and of itself, or another situation. But I think number one, man, I think T. Higgins is the best. I think that's clear. Damn it. What's up, man? You did not have to do that. JC going live. JD got to stress.
The times are changing.
Yeah, I know, right? I want a wide receiver in the worst way. Trade for Sutton, maybe. Dude, thanks so much for that. You did not have to do that. Unfortunately, though, man, I hate to be like the bearer of bad news, but I just read something like 10, 15 minutes ago where Sutton popped on. I think it was like a radio show. Okay. And it didn't really sound like he was going to be on the move.
With Jerry Jeudy already gone, right?
With Jerry Jeudy already gone, yeah. And, man, you look at that trade compensation, a 5th and a 6th round pick for Jerry Jeudy. I understand that Judy's not some top guy, but dude, for a 5th and a 6th rounder, I would have taken Jeudy on this team and kind of not had that worry entering free agency. As far as, really just wide receiver depth, because I think Jeudy has a high ceiling.
Yeah. I'd rather Sutton though, man.
Say what?
I'd rather Sutton over Jeudy though.
I would too, but would you rather have the 2 late round picks or Jeudy?
The 2 late round picks and go sign somebody else.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Like right now, I'm still like, you look in Keenan Allen. I see that in the chat. There's mentions of him if he gets cut or maybe trade for him. I like guys like that. But the name that's coming back up, and it was only a matter of time, is Beckham again, where it's like Odell Beckham Jr. And like now, last year he came back, didn't really put up big numbers with Baltimore. What if he comes at a much cheaper deal where it's like, what's an incentive-laden deal? Do you cross that bridge again? Say, you know what? You're not bringing Bart as number 2. Maybe you're like a 3-4-ish. Do you go down that path again with Beckham?
I just don't see, I view Beckham as kind of like a summer signing. Like, I don't view him as like that dude to like hit the Jets room and okay, now we got a legitimate piece. Baltimore gave him 1 year, $15 million and disappointed. And Baltimore was a fantastic team that really needs help at wide, or at the time really needed help at wide out outside of Zay Flowers. And he still didn't really separate himself from the pack. So, a year removed from that, I just don't know if I'm looking at OBJ as like the go-to number 2 guy that we can rely on for an entire season.
No, I agree. I completely agree. It's just, it's coming up now. It's like, for me, it's like Tyler Boyd, Curtis Samuel, everybody's talking about Sutton. And then it gets interesting. Then you got to get creative a little bit and figure things out because it's still a glaring hole. I don't have a lot of expectations for Lazard this year, no matter what anybody tries to tell me. You know what I mean? The money that's going out in wide receiver, you saw what Mooney got. I was like, wow, that's kind of shocking. So you kind of see where they're going with this. Like, what would be your Like, how much would you offer Boyd, knowing that what's already been the market established?
I would. I mean, I guess it has to be somewhere similar to Darnell Mooney, because
It's
Mooney
gotta be,
wasn't
right?
considered a top 3 receiver that was hitting the market.
Nope.
With Pittman, Evans, and Higgins, like in the pre-free agency discussions,
Yep.
you know, Darnell wasn't even like top 5, 6, or really 7.
I know.
And he still got, what was it, 3 years, 39 mil?
Yep. You're spending money, dude. And that's the thing. And this is where like the Jets are trying to maximize their dollar. It's like, what's the drop off from Tyler Boyd to Curtis Samuel? Like that's what Joe Douglas is doing, man. He's trying to get the most bang for his buck right now. I guess we'll talk about that when we go to the offensive line. But with wide receiver, how far is a drop off from all these levels? Like I think, and the other thing with Sutton too is I think a lot of teams are going to know he's available. So you're competing with a lot of other teams too. So you may be pushed for compensation. Not having a second round pick this year hurts. So that could be tough as well. But I don't know, man. It's wide receivers can get really, really interesting with this market right now.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, dude, it's like, we're seeing these big contracts go off the board, right? Darnell Mooney and Gabe Davis got paid like quite a bit, like 3 years worth up to 50.
Yep.
But it's like, if that's the market value, that's the market value. We cut Lakin for a reason. We cut Uzama. The cap went up $30 million. And, I would go ahead.
But the only problem with that is that, it's the market to market. But if it's a bad signing and it bites you in the ass like the Alan Lazard thing does, instead of paying $11 million a year, you're paying $15 million a year for a guy you don't want. So you kind of, you know what I mean? That's not, it's tough, dude. It's really tough. Like I like Boyd a lot, but I see the chat talking about it. Like, what do you like? We know what T. Higgins is. Like I like T. Higgins a lot, even though he was banged up last year. Do you just say, you know what? Screw it. Let's make an offer for T. Higgins and give him that money where that's a guy that's the now and the future for your team.
T. Higgins, man, and I was talking about this with my brother last night. By the way, Tyson, Let's Talk Jets Radio here. I didn't have time to throw the links to his Twitter and YouTube channel down below in the description box.
I'm used to it, man.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments. But obviously we do the podcast every single week. Always look forward to it. It's always, blast. The hour, 15 minutes flies by, goes by in 20. Or it feels like it's only like 20 minutes, but sorry, what was the question again? I forgot.
We're talking wide receivers. I saw Marquise Brown. There's another good one too, though.
Yes, dude. Yes, I like Marquise Brown.
The value for T. Higgins, where dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious to see what the compensation required is from the Bengals.
Definitely. I feel like yeah. So this is what I was going to say. So me and my brother were talking about it late last night, and like best fits for T. Higgins, and we both kind of agreed Houston made a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Trade their second, or their late round pick in the 20s, for Higgins. Just Cincinnati can go scoop up one of these wide receivers in a deep class. Houston gets a number 1, but I think really the question here is: do you trade 10 for Higgins straight up? I think that's a bit too rich for me. But let me say this, just to kind of get or present both sides of the argument here. T. Higgins is 25, 6'4", 200 plus. He's had multiple 1,000+ yard wide receiver or receiving seasons as the number 2. He's been reliable. He's been again pretty consistent as far as the numbers go. Clearly, the Bengals value him a lot. It's just it comes down to the dollar, right? You can't pay Burrow a mega deal, Chase a mega deal, Orlando Brown, Hendrickson. They have a ton of contracts all over the place. Somebody at some point is going to have to leave, and it's probably going to be Higgins. For me, I mean, dude, you can literally go out and give Higgins a 5-year contract. At the end of that 5-year contract, he's going to be 30, Mike Evans' age now. And we're seeing what these wide receivers are doing. So I would be inclined, and I mean, this goes without saying, he's a proven commodity. It's not an unknown draft pick. How many draft busts have we seen the Jets select, right? Joe Douglas or not. So it is enticing for me. I would feel more comfortable now trading the 10th pick for Higgins as opposed to when we were talking about it with like Deebo Samuel a couple years ago, right before we had Garrett Wilson. The only thing is, will T. Higgins want to come to the New York Jets and be, again, the number 2 guy?
Dude, I love T. Higgins. I would love to have him. And you have young players. You have him and Garrett Wilson going side by side. I mean, you're looking now. You have a young nucleus. Add Breece Hall. Add your young playmakers, and you can move on. Too sexist or sexiest? I'm not sexist, man. Come on. But you look at it, though, it's just the compensation. See, you're saying number 10 pick in the draft. I get it. But then with no second round pick, and I had all kinds of fears about our offensive line. How are you building your offensive line? Where's this talent coming from then? Because they've been slow in free agency unless they go out and get Zeitler or Tyron Smith after this. But how do you give up number 10? Tell me how you're building your offensive line without me having a stroke.
Yeah, I mean that's the big question here. And Rudy, we appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Offensive line, number one priority for sure. I totally agree with that. It seems like every year there's wide receivers available. I mean, you just talked about Deontay Johnson. We're talking about Cortland Sutton.
Yep.
We haven't even talked about Mike Williams from the Chargers or Keenan Allen from the Chargers. Or Ridley's still out there. Hollywood, it seems like every single season Jerry Jeudy got moved. Like there's going to be options. Offensive linemen do not grow on trees. Great offensive linemen do not grow on trees. It's hard to find those guys. So that's the thing, right? If the Jets want to go with a Bakhtiari at left tackle and try to it's tough, man, because I feel like at the end of the day with Onwenu gone, or what you could do, just theoretically throwing it out, not saying that this is like my go-to plan, but like a Bakhtiari Donovan Smith combo at left tackle, Smith being the backup, you bounce AVT out to right tackle, you sign Kevin Zeitler at right guard, and then you can move 10 for Higgins. But that's a lot of moving parts, man.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, you got to think like Bakhtiari is like a foregone conclusion right now, right? It's assuming he's going to be here. They're doing all these love posts back and forth on X and stuff. So you figure if Bakhtiari is part of the mix, he's a stopgap, a Band-Aid. You need somebody legitimate behind him. Where's that going to be? A draft pick? Donovan Smith makes a lot of sense. Let them both compete for the starting job. I have no problem with that. Now, the one thing, I was kind of interested in was, would the Jets consider going after a center and then you move Tittman over to guard and then you move AVT out to tackle? Would they do something like that? Or is that just crazy?
Hey, Rudy, bro, you don't got to keep super chatting, man. I appreciate that, though. Thanks. Well, so here's what's interesting. So I actually just did a video on this. Supposedly the Jets sent 5 coaches to the Oregon Pro Day.
Right.
Bo Nix, Troy Franklin, checked out, a bunch of players. And obviously the top rated centers at Oregon, they didn't have a coach view or scout Powers Johnson's pro day, his workout. So you would think that, okay, well, if Tittman is the guaranteed guard here, right, we're going to move Tittman to guard, we would have some level of interest in scouting the top center in the draft, right? I mean, if we're taking the time to go meet Caleb Williams, we should be, at least, that sends a message saying that, the Jets are going to be talking to players that they might not be able to land.
Right. Of course.
So in my opinion, I think Tittman will probably stick at center, but Connor Williams from the Dolphins, dude, one of my favorite, he can play guard or center. I really, really like him.
No, so do I, dude. And that's why all this moving around gets interesting when you want to say, what can we get to get T. Higgins? What's up, Hawk? The most important thing is, okay, I'm all about you can get as many playmakers as possible. Let's not get Aaron Rodgers killed. So you this offensive line, still a work in progress, still a lot of unknowns, only day 2 of free agency, which is fine. So once this show ends, I'm sure they're going to sign Tyron Smith or something. But what are your thoughts on Simpson, man? Because I got to be honest, when they announced the signing of him, good value is like 2 years, $12 million. I had no idea who he was. I'm like, I don't know him. But I'm like, who's going to know him? Ian's going to know him because he always knows these guys.
All right, dude. So Simpson.
Did you know him?
I knew a little bit about, or I knew a lot about him in Clemson.
Okay.
Right, when he was there. And I wanted the Jets to pick him up in the mid rounds, where he was a beast at Clemson. Matthias, dude, thank you so much. You did not have to do that. Let me just let's go through. Let's do this question first, real quick before Simpson. Do you trust Joe and truly believe that he's going to land these top offensive linemen that are still out there? For example, Tyron Smith. Not sure. Yeah. So I think, I'll actually kind of let you take it away on that. I feel like it's Bakhtiari though for me.
Yep. 100%. Do I trust Joe Douglas? No, I do not. I'm not a big fan of his, but I also think he's not going to break the bank for Tyron Smith. You figure Tyron Smith's going to probably want like a 2 or 3 year deal, crazy money. The Jets are like, you know what? We have Bakhtiari basically already on his way to New Jersey at this point. He's our, for a lot less money. him, bringing some competition, and they go on. I'd like to see Tyron Smith, but I don't see it happening though, dude.
Yeah, I mean, how much did we overpay for Dwayne? What was the Dwayne Brown contract? 2 years, 22?
I think so. It was a lot, man.
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah, I feel like Smith is going to want more than that. Moose, what's up, man? Thank you so much, bro. You did not have to do that. I want the O-line beefed.
We all do.
So does everybody. Yeah, so does everybody. Yes, okay, dude. So he's the guy from Clemson. Going back to Simpson here. So I mean, right off the bat, he's the best. I would probably, well, maybe outside of AVT, he's probably the best left guard on the team. So he's going to be a starter. Signed on a 2-year deal. He was great back at Clemson. Won 2 national championships.
Mm-hmm.
Gets drafted, I think, in round 4 to the Raiders. Didn't really work out. Only spent 3 years there. Signed a 1-year, $1 million deal with the Ravens.
Right.
Played in every game. Over 1,100 snaps. Great in run blocking. Penalized a ton.
Yep.
So, you look at the Ravens offensive line. The Ravens fans are like, okay, he's the weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
But here's Joe Douglas again, where I think the contract was 2 years, 12 mil, but it can go up to 18 mil.
Yep.
You compare that to like Robert Hunt, 5 years, 100 mil. We're kind of just getting what we're paying for here.
And is that a concern for you? Or are you thinking that Joe Douglas is trying to get the most bang for his buck, a player on the rise, maybe something they could see in him, tenacious player, relentless, physical, has that mindset? What do you see here? Because like this is what makes me uncomfortable, where it's like, all right, we're not bargain basement shopping because there is potential there. He's coming off a decent year, could get better. He's young, but are we getting great value here too? Is this gonna be a guy like other guys in the past? Like, well, 3 weeks in, we know he sucks. Get him out of here. Like, how do you treat this signing? But that's how it really works with Jets offensive linemen. Usually, it's like either they're really good or they suck. There's no in between with these guys.
This move kind of reminded me a little bit of George Fant when Douglas brought him in from Seattle, where it was just like untapped potential, had a couple of starts, where not many people know about him, under the radar, but the Jets like make him a priority early on. So hopefully, he turns into a consistent starter. Look, if the deal was like 1 year, 5 mil, I think I would be pretty concerned.
Right.
But because they handed out a 2-year contract to him and passed up, like they made this a priority over Zeitler.
So far, yeah. Yep.
We didn't bring in Dotson. We didn't bring in Jonah Jackson. We didn't bring in Connor Williams is still out there, right? Ezra Cleveland already re-signed. Dalton Reisner still out there. I think this is probably one of Joe Douglas's guys that he's been eyeing for a long time.
Let's hope. I mean, that could be good or could be bad based on his track record of offensive linemen. But like I said, there's still guys to be out there. The one thing that's interesting is you didn't really hear any stories where the Jets were almost like these big contracts, like, oh, the Jets were almost in the mix with Hunt. There was really like, they've been really pretty much silent, kind of keeping close to the vest and not really actively searching guys in social media, which is good. My question for you is the 2 guys we got on defense, which I want to hear your take about why they added interior defensive line help when we have all these other needs. And if you think it's an upgrade over what we had last year as opposed to this year, because we figure we lost, as of now, you lost Woods, you lost Jefferson, you lost Solomon Thomas. I'm kind of hoping Solomon Thomas comes back. But do you like do you think this is an upgrade with the 2 guys they signed, Kinlaw and the guy from today from the Cardinals?
I think Kinlaw, man, that's the one that's super intriguing. I mean, if you look at like the pending free agents, I'm with you, dude. Like, I want Solomon back.
Yep.
But we lose Al Woods. We lose Quentin Jefferson.
Yep.
Perrion Winfrey, I believe, is a free agent.
Yep.
So that's 3 players right there. Kinlaw, dude. Kinlaw's like a roll of the dice. He hasn't really had like the crazy, seasons, but like it's the untapped potential with him.
Yep.
He's still super young, 14th overall pick in the draft, same year as Becton. Fits the system, right? Obviously can him lining up next to Quinnen Williams on the inside on like a 3rd and 9 gets me fired up. I think he had 3.5 sacks last year. And he's also coming off the best season, finally finished a year. And it's just a 1-year contract. I would assume it's like an incentive based.
Yep.
So that's that. And also too, Salah's resume of working with defensive linemen. To me at least, he always seems to max outside of Carl Lawson. He always seems to like maximize the D linemen. So again, I think if they're making this a priority over tackle and guard and stuff like that, like they're getting this done first. I think there is a method to the madness here. But Toads is saying, what running back do you see us add?
Oh, I'm not. To be honest, I'm not even thinking about running back. I'm still trying to figure out the offensive line, wide receivers. But just going back to Kinlaw real quick, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the Solomon Thomas signing with the Jets, where Solomon Thomas, first round pick, kind of disappointing. Loves Sol. He's trying to find his way in the NFL. Kinlaw is the same way. He's a monster. He's got crazy, athletic ability. Was banged up a little bit, but the 49er fans that I talked to, like, listen, he's got some pass rush ability against the run. Really, really inconsistent. But he's an interesting signing, dude. I think, I just hope that they bring back, you have in Solomon Thomas, man. I thought he's starting to get better each year. I like to keep him. I'm sure he won't cost a lot. You're still going to need a lot of depth, whether we like it or not. And I think he's a piece that we should bring back. In terms of running backs, I honestly, I haven't even thought about it. At one point, I thought Cordell Patterson was going to be available, which I've always liked him. But I haven't really I've been so focused on so many of the positions. But who are you looking at?
Dude, I would say AJ Dillon, man. I know it's kind of like mainstream and cliche, but I mean, he's like a type of guy that I feel like would be, a different skill. He would provide a different skill set to Brees. Yep. First off, if Brees, whatever, were to get hurt, misses 4 games, it's not the end of the world because AJ Dillon can like carry the load.
Yep.
Short yardage situations, goal line situations. I like AJ Dillon a lot. Of course, Hackett ties, Green Bay Packer, former, Roger teammate. I think there's a lot of connections there. See, I preferred AJ Dillon a lot more than Aaron Jones because, like, when Jones got cut, it was like Jets. I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't want carries being taken away from Brees. He's like a premier player.
Yep.
I don't want a 60-40 split, that type of deal. I want somebody with a different skill set.
Yep.
Or we can go, Brees, this is your team. You got your role as the guy. But here's an awesome piece that does, somebody who has different strengths that can now supplement what you can't do. And if something were to happen to you, injury wise, you can, Dillon can step in. So I'm all about AJ Dillon, but I think tackles the bigger need, man. Tackle to me is, I mean, dude, people literally before last season started, before the Hackett drama, before Rodgers got hurt, people were like, no, the Jets won't make the playoffs because they don't have tackles.
Yep.
And we have all of these other issues now and still no tackle. So until we figure out the tackle position, both left and right, I'm still kind of up in the air on how this, 2024 is going to.
Well, because your running game is only going to be as good as your offensive line, and Aaron Rodgers will only be as good as offensive line. So, I get the need for running back. It's just I'm looking at so many other spots on Banyu, but I'm looking at so many other spots before that, and it's crucial. Like, I want to get your take on Tyrod Taylor, man, because we talked about quarterbacks the past 2.5 months, backup quarterbacks. I think we both agreed that Jacoby Brissett was going to go to Patriots. Minshew wanted to go somewhere where he could start, so they weren't available. So then it's like, what's the Jets' best option after that? And to me, immediately I'm like, it's either going to be Tannehill or Tyrod Taylor. I'm figuring Tyrod Taylor's probably a little cheaper, a little bit young. Like, what do you think about how that all played out and just the Jets getting Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, you called that, dude. I think I saw you actually posted that on Twitter. I think after the Jacoby Brissett news, that Tyrod was an option. And, we talked about him a couple times on, the podcast episodes. I love it. I think when it comes to like Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, you just don't know what you're getting.
Nope.
4 picks 1 week,
or you do know
1 week,
or you do know what you're getting.
Yeah. You're getting a crazy ass roller coaster ride, really.
Yep.
But with Tyrod, you're not going to get the crazy 400-yard games. You're not going to get like 3 TDs, 320 yards, 34 of 38, that type of thing. But you're getting a game manager. You're getting somebody who can work off a play action, somebody who has crazy mobility. You're getting a leader, a guy who's been a part of so many different teams and offenses. He's seen tons of defenses. I love the move. He can just check it down. How many times, some fans, I feel like wherever Tyrod plays, Houston, Buffalo, Cleveland, wherever he plays, the fans are always complaining about him checking it down too much, or like it's almost like his check down is read one within the route. Just boom, get the ball out. But like as Jets fans, how many times have we said in like the Saleh era, can we just get a quarterback to just check it down, please, and hit the layups? So I think that's exactly what Tyrod is, and he's just a steady hand.
Yep. I mean, this is probably the best backup quarterback we've had in a while. He's been there, done that. He went to the Pro Bowl. He's done a lot of good, mobile, good arm. He's been playing in New York already with the Giants. The one criticism, if you're going to give one, is that one, especially what I've been getting a lot, is he's always hurt. So you're taking a quarterback that you're worried that he's going to get hurt and replacing him with a quarterback that could get hurt because that's his history. But to me, I think I like the shot. I like him as a player, man. I really do. I think it's a good fit. And I like that it's a 2-year deal as well. So if Rodgers plays 2 years, Tyrod's here 2 years. If Rodgers happens to retire this year, at least we have our stopgap for next year. So that's smart. The money wasn't crazy. And I'm curious to see where Tannehill goes and how much money he wants. He may want to go somewhere where we get the chance to start or at least compete. And that's not going to be with the Jets.
For sure. But let me push back and say, well, where does he go then? Because the Giants got Drew Lock.
Yep.
The Steelers got Russ. The Patriots got Brissett. Washington got Mariota, and they already have Howell on the roster.
Yep.
Fields has not been traded.
Bro, the thing with Fields is crazy now because where the hell is he going to go?
I was thinking the Giants, dude. We were talking about that because I was doing a stream earlier. Somebody pointed out that the Giants had 2 second-round picks. They can, flip one for Brian Burns and one for Justin Fields. But I mean, they just brought in Drew Lock. So, dude, I have no idea. It kind of feels like the Baker Mayfield going to Carolina situation where it's just like the Browns were just begging anybody to take him.
Tannehill and Fields are interesting as hell, man. But that's how I kind of thought, because like everybody's like, well, what's a better option? Like they just mentioned like Tyler Huntley. I'm like, I'd rather have Tyrod Taylor. I mean, the goal is he's not going to play 17 games. He's going to play maybe 1, 2, or 3. That's it. Just hold the fort down until Rodgers comes back. So
sure.
I think at this point, people are complaining about everything because everybody's so frustrated and annoyed by things. But I don't hate the Tyrod Taylor thing, dude. Like there's nothing happened right now. It's pissing you off. Like Zerline came back, Chuck Clark came back. That's good. So
and Morstead should be back tomorrow.
Yep.
At some point. Raise the Jolly Roger. What's up, man? Thanks so much for the 2. Could Terry McLaurin be a possibility at wide receiver? Did he sign that big deal with Washington?
He did already, didn't he?
I think he'd probably be off the board. I don't see Cliff, an offensive guy back in the NFL, trading his number 1 go-to guy in a presumed draft class with, a top-end rookie quarterback. I think you want to get a guy like that as much help as possible.
Yep. That was a last year kind of move. When they were a dumpster fire, you make those kind of moves.
Moose, what's up, man? Dude, didn't you just shoot in $5? Bro, keep your money, man. You don't got to keep sending him money. Are you guys not worried about Bakhtiari's injury issues? I am, man. I am. I mean, 1 game last year, 5 knee surgeries since 2020, missed 40 plus games.
Yep.
I mean,
it's just a matter what level of faith you want to put in him, like finally getting the right surgery, finally fully healthy. He's saying all the right things, but you bring him in as for competition, for depth, and with an incentive-laden contract. No ridiculous 10, 11, $12 million a year that you can't, dude. You just can't. You can't justify it. Aaron Rodgers' best friend doesn't justify you getting $10 million a year, right? With all the concerns around him. So it's a legit, you have to have, we talked about this last time, I think. You have to have somebody like strong competition behind him, like Donovan Smith, somebody else. You can't just be like, all right, season's over again, left tackle's out. Like you need a really good contingency plan with him.
Yeah, and another thing, dude, he was cut from the Packers with a failed physical.
Yep.
Yesterday. So, I think, common sense tells you it's not the smartest move.
Nope.
What are the Jets' problems on offensive line? Old, injury prone.
Bingo.
Miss a lot of games. Yep. What is David Bakhtiari? Older, 32, 33, injury prone, misses a lot of games. Is that the solution for the Jets' problems? Probably not. But if he's healthy, he's an upgrade.
Yeah, and he's also could be a tremendous mentor for all the young linemen the Jets have, too. He'd be a real asset for AVT and everything else. What's up, Oscar? Oscar's got a new hat on his head, too. This is awesome.
I know. I saw. I see that. Oscar, what's up, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for the Jets therapy. Yeah, man, we'll see. I don't think any news is broke since.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Jordan Elliott going to 49ers. Jets let's go. Let's talk Jets radio legend Affirm is here.
Affirm, my friend Affirm. Affirm's very smart.
There we go. Let's see. Looks like the Jets will be all in at tackle at 10. The one name that I keep seeing all today is Bowers at 10.
And you know what? You know what's funny is I'm starting to convince myself of a receiver at 10 because there's just so many that one could drop there. But Bowers would be interesting too. But again, if you go non-offensive lineman in the first round, tell me where you get him in the rest of the draft. You have no second round pick. You wait until the fourth round and playing that game. And actually to this comment to Derek, Bakhtiari is actually worse than Dwayne Brown because he hasn't been playing. At least Dwayne Brown was playing it tough. Bakhtiari doesn't even play. Right? It's actually worse.
Oh man, dude, the whole like ex-Packer thing it's just kind of comical at this point. If the Jets end up with Bakhtiari and AJ Dillon, it's just like, what other team does this in the NFL? I mean, I guess maybe Tampa with Patriots, but I mean, you're getting Brady and like Gronk and stuff. But man, it's insane.
Crazy.
Oh, let's see. Tom, dude, thank you so much, bro. It means a lot. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Love the channel. Thank you. Hopefully we'll get some big signings later on tonight.
Do you think the Jets at the safety position, bringing Chuck Clark back is great, versatile player. He can be he could be in the box. He's got some range, leader, quality, good character guy. What else they can do at safety though? I guess you could assume Ashton Davis is going to be signed shortly. They'll announce that, right? So you have Davis, Tony Adams, Clark. Do they maybe draft somebody, or do you look at like maybe a veteran to bring in as well?
Well, we drafted Converse last year.
He didn't freaking.
But he was hurt. So I mean, I'm really not like super. Like if I'm Joe Douglas, I'm not like losing sleep over the safety position right now. I think there's so many of them out there. Whitehead's still out there. Justin Simmons is still out there. Like there's plenty of guys. Your favorite player, Jamal Adams, is still out there. Like there's a lot of talent. I think if anything, we could probably just scoop one up in the summer if we really need it.
I agree.
But JK says, I can see Fields going to the Saints, especially if the Bears eat some of the cap. Yeah, I mean, if the Bears eat some of the cap, then 100%. The only thing is Fields' contract runs out before Derek Carr's contract does.
And you pick up that option, it's expensive. It's like, what? That's that money plus Derek Carr's money. That's huge money to the quarterback position.
Yep. J-Max left tackle is the most important spot.
100%.
I would agree. Oh, shoot. Justin Simmons is in talks with the Eagles right now.
Who's not in talk with the Eagles right now? Isn't it funny? Like the Jets are sitting here worried about every little dollar they have. Like we can't spend here, we can't spend that. And there's teams like the Eagles that just every year spend crazy amounts of money and they win every year. Isn't it? It's just, didn't Joe Douglas learn anything from them? Like I thought he learned from these guys. It's crazy.
Yeah. Would the Bengals take the Jets 2025 first round pick for T. Higgins? This is an interesting question. I'll let you take it.
I mean, it depends on what teams are offering this year is the problem. Do you want your return on your investment this year or next year if you're the Bengals? Like if I lose T. Higgins this year, I can't replace him in this year's draft. Do you want to wait another year to replace him in terms of the compensation? I'm not sure I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think like what's more valuable, a 2024 first round pick or a 2025 first round pick? You know, I think Houston makes a lot of sense wherever they're at, like 23 or 24, wherever, like that mid to late round. Because then, Houston they can go get the number one, give Stroud like a humongous weapon on the outside. And then since he can just go draft whoever, with their extra first round pick in the back half of the first round. So I think Houston makes a ton of sense, but that's the thing, right? If Higgins, or I guess really if the Bengals like open up discussions with other, teams about moving Higgins, you just kind of feel like if the Jets don't offer 10, the Bengals aren't moving Higgins to the Jets. Like we don't have a 2. So it's like, are we going to just trade like the rest of the picks in this year's class? So it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I think it's tough for Higgins and for Cortland Sutton to get the right compensation to get them. I just think that we don't have enough to offer right now as opposed to what other teams are willing to do. So.
Yeah. So Azuma's like, I don't understand why you folks want to put a rookie on the line and Aaron Rodgers does not want to run with rookies on. But this is the thing. It's like, this is where Joe Douglas is at with this team. If the offensive line was fixed by now, we wouldn't really be in this predicament where it's like, O-line, every day, O-line, draft, free agents. Like if we had options, we wouldn't really have to worry about it, but this is just kind of like the reality that, we're in right now, which is unfortunate, but again, it's the reality.
When you miss out on Mekhi Becton, when you fail on certain picks like that, this is where it bites you in the ass. You have no choice. So
yeah, for sure. Duncan, what's up, man? Are we going to hear about the restructures today, or is it more likely when the cap needs to be locked in? I'm not too sure. One thing I really want to see is DJ Reed get extended.
Yep.
I mean, man, because I don't want another Bryce Huff situation.
Oh, that
where
still
we're just
pisses me off.
waiting and waiting.
Can we address that? That still pisses me off. The way the Jets handle Bryce Huff is criminal at this point. But no, you're right. DJ Reed. Would you consider Michael Carter the second? Would you consider extending him or giving a new deal?
Both of them, yeah, Reed and Carter. Because you look, it's different though because Carter's a rookie and he's hardly getting paid anything, right? Because he came in as a late rounder. Let's see. Do we have breaking news? No. Yeah. So with Carter, like you want to extend your own guys, especially a late round pick who's came in and started from the jump and is dominated, right? I mean, in my opinion, he's one of the top slot corners, all things considered. DJ Reed, on the other hand, had time in Seattle, time with San Francisco, comes to the Jets, has had 2 good years. An extension with Reed, for me at least, is more so let's get him under contract for the foreseeable future, just like we failed to do with Huff.
Yep.
But we lower the cap hit this year,
exactly,
down to like 3 or 4, and then just give him that money maybe next year or in 2026 or in 2027, whatever, when he's still on the team. Not like a restructure like Uzama where we're paying him after he's already, off the squad. With Michael Carter, I'm more so interested in just locking him up because I love him.
No, with DJ Reed, it's a win-win. You get cap savings and you get a very good player to stay longer. So how do you beat that? And then Michael Carter, he's a rising star. I mean, and the Jets themselves keep telling us how good he is. So I'm like, you keep telling us how good he is, you have to pay him. Don't do the Bryce Huff thing. So get Michael Carter done and move on. So you're going to hear about them, I guess, probably tonight, tomorrow. You're going to hear a lot about that with all the restructures and the cap space because the Jets are going to need it if they go after some big game hunting like Tyron Smith or somebody else.
Yeah, and another thing too, it's like tomorrow technically free agency opens. This is just legal tampering period. It's like, the Jets are planning to sign Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's, going to sign with the Jets. He's not like ink isn't on paper. So I think right around that 4 o'clock window, I believe it opens up. That's when we'll probably get more news about, restructures and whatnot. Derek, what's good, dude? I'm surprised Fields is not a Viking. The only thing with that, I think he'd be a great fit, but it's like an in-division trade. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I would like Fields on the Jets, but it just doesn't make sense financially. I don't think Joe Douglas will put his ego aside to do it either.
Nope.
Go get Tyler Boyd. Let's do it, man. Keep your picks.
Sign me up.
Breaking news, Tyson. Zach Wilson was just traded for a dented can of Coke.
That much? That's good value right there.
Let's snag Tyler Boyd. Dude, I mean, one thing that was super interesting, though, with a potential Zach Wilson trade, and this was pointed out in the stream before, we can't overlook the cap savings if we move Zach now.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden more cap opens up to whatever, throw it Tyler Boyd or throw it whoever, as opposed to waiting until like the summer or something like that.
Yeah, but the thing with Zach Wilson though is just like Justin Fields, who exactly wants him at his what do you bring him in for? You want him as your backup quarterback? Because right now, all the other teams, is he going to be brought in to be like a competition? Like, what are you doing with Zach Wilson? Why would you give up draft compensation and $5 million a year for him? So. Seriously, I mean, not being a jerk, but if Justin Fields has no market, what the hell is Zach Wilson's market?
Yeah, well, I think it's 2 different situations. With Field, it was similar to Baker, where there's Fields can play.
Yep.
And it's not like to say that Wilson is just his career is done and he's going to be out of the league next year. But I think whoever trades for Zach Wilson is like, okay, let's put a developmental plan in place. With Fields, it's like, let's take a flyer and see what he has.
Yeah, but why would you want to, like I said, developmental plans can be like, I'm going to give up a 6th-round pick and $5 million to see if this kid can maybe play, or see the Jets just actually cut him because they don't want him there. I don't know. I don't think he's got a market, dude, at all. 0.
Yeah, I don't think so either. All I'm saying is that if we do trade him, we'll save some money. Moose,
I agree.
Dude, save the money, bro. Save the money. Times are tough out here. $20. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all you do, JC. Let me show you my support. Thank you. Dream scenario for the offensive line and other offensive weapons. I'd honestly take Tyron Smith. We need stability at left tackle. Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a big subset of, Jets fans that want Tyron Smith. And he is older than Bakhtiari. He's missed time with injuries. He's going to probably ask for a lot of money. But if he comes in and he's healthy, I mean, he could be kind of like he's definitely an upgrade, whether, he plays in 12 games or not.
I mean, if you say you're going to give him big money and you get 14 great games or above average games at left tackle, I mean, isn't that, you'd sign up for that, wouldn't you? I mean, when healthy, he's very, very good, man. That's saying a lot. So it's like, give him a couple years and big money. If he plays 14 games and healthy for the playoffs, God, hopefully make that. I'm in. Like, I'm desperate. Like, I'm at this point, I'm just desperate. And the last thing you want is that in us in week 4 and being like, oh, who we signed up the street to play left tackle this week? You need talent, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through these comments. Cheese, what's up? Ideally, how much cap can we free up? Well, I mean, if we trade Zach Wilson, unlikely, but if we do, we'll save money there. We already cut Lakin. Yep. We had the boost with the cap, which was 30 mil. Uzama released.
Yep.
As far as other moves, I mean, you could potentially, we talked about DJ Reed, lowering his deal, extending him,
Yep.
but JFM is kind of the other guy.
Another guy, yep.
Lawson, I mean, his contract is voided, so he's not going to be a Jet, and we're still paying him, I believe. And that's really all the moves that I mean, I guess potentially CJ Mosley, but we talk about that every offseason. It never gets done. So yeah, not a ton.
But they can get another $25 million in cap space being creative with it. And there's always ways to do it. Yeah, I just saw that's when I saw in the chat. I saw what DJ Reed was tweeting out. He just said,
what did he say? What did he say? I'll pull it up.
He said, bro, God really be giving me what my heart desires. I got very special news coming soon. Thank you, Jesus. So
good news. Congrats to DJ Reed for whatever it is.
It may not be football related. It could be something for his family too, though. So you never know.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, though, congrats.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, home?
Where's the beef?
Sam Darnold is a Viking. Yeah, dude. They signed him last night at like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a plan in place. Yeah, no team is trading for Zach's contract.
Absolutely not. If anything, you call the Jets bluff. Like, we think you're going to act and be forced to cut him and then really own the mistake.
Ryan, what's good, man? What's good? JC, hope, what's up? Hope all is well. Desperate for either Zeitler or Tyron Smith. Yep. We got to keep adding to the O-line, man. We're 2 days or a day and a half into this thing, and we still don't have a right tackle or left tackle, and we don't have depth. You know, we brought in Simpson, but that's not good enough.
I wonder if at some point, like, because Woody Johnson's always on social media, dude, and the Jets are very cognizant of the fan reactions. They try to be pragmatic about things, but I wonder at some point, even Mike Francesa, who's the sports pope of New York, who's coming out of hiding, is like, the Jets got to sign Tyron Smith. I wonder if Woody Johnson comes out and says, get this done. Like, just if we have to overpay, just get him in the building because I need some positive press. I need a good feeling here. We got to make a splash move. Do you think he gets involved at all?
I always feel like Woody's involved.
Yep.
For better.
Would you be mad? Like, would you be mad if the Jets overpaid for Tyron Smith from a 2 or 3 year deal?
Depends on how much. Dude, I hear like banging outside. I'm still getting used to this new apartment. Yeah, it depends on how much for Tyron Smith. I mean, if it's like crazy, like 2 years 40 or something like that, then yeah. But again, it's just one of these short-term fixes. How much good football does Tyron Smith have? And it's not to say that he is Dwayne Brown, because Dwayne Brown was 38 when we got him, or 37. Smith is 33, I believe. Will be 34. But and also too, Tyron Smith, like, he really dominated with Dallas throughout the course of his career. But he's an upgrade. But if we overpay a little bit, I'm fine with it. Like, I think people kind of blow up the whole like overpaying for somebody. But at the end of the day, it's like, certain teams, especially if you're failing to miss the playoffs every year, you're failing to finish over 500, you're going to have to overpay. Like, if all 32 teams offered, T. Higgins, say, a contract, let's see, Jeremy Chin is signing with the Washington Commanders. I thought he was going to be a Bill. But if all 32 teams offer the same player, the same contract, who's he going to, think of? Or like what the list of priorities? It's probably like where he's from, family, team need, that kind of stuff. So, the better you are, Chiefs, Baltimore, Buffalo, Eagles, like the less you're going to have to pay.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point, the Jets got to step up and be like, we want you. We're going to prove it to you. We're going to overpay to get you here. Whether it's a Jets tax, whether it's whatever it is, the uncertainty around Aaron Rodgers. I think at some point you got to make a bold move, dude, especially on the offensive line. But that's where you got to have faith in Douglas and his evaluation skills. We thought Laken Tomlinson was that move. We're like, we brought in a Pro Bowl guy that bombed out. We thought Beckham was going to be the guy. He didn't. But at some point the Jets got to hit. If it means, I agree. Like the thing with Smith is not his age, it's his injuries. He just banged up. But he's like, give me 14 games. I'd rather have Smith than Bakhtiari at half the price. You know what I mean? Like it's tough, man. And everybody's in the same boat because everybody needs offensive line help. So you gotta figure it out.
What did Tom Pelissero tweet?
I don't know. Let's see.
Am I gonna regret that? Hopefully it's not some.
Is it more Saquon and Tiki Barber arguing? Let's see what we got here. Oh my goodness.
Something about Aaron Rodgers and politics.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has recently approached Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers and Jesse the Body Ventura about serving as his running mate on the independent presidential ticket. And both have welcomed the overtures.
Imagine seeing that on the ballot, like Aaron Rodgers, like quarterback of the Jets.
Maybe the Jets, look, Aaron Rodgers starts playing really well, and he gets like, I'm in office now. I got to retire. Like in late November. I'm done. See you guys later.
Ooh, so Colts having talks with Danielle Hunter. That could be interesting. Yeah, dude, Danielle Hunter is just flying under the radar, man. Nobody's talking about him.
Great player. He can get big money too.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the Vikes moved off with Jonathan Grenard, signing him to a 4-year deal. But I don't know what your schedule's looking like for tonight. How much longer you want to stick around?
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you want to hang for another like 10 minutes?
That's not me. Okay, I'm having fun, man. Answering questions.
We can sit for 15 or 20 if you want. I don't want to keep you all night. All right, Smith and Fuaga at tackle. Trade Denver's fourth back. Trade the Broncos fourth back to the Broncos for Sutton. Round 3 and 4, another wide receiver and offensive line. I gotta find that freaking tweet about Cortland Sutton. It just doesn't really look like he's leaving. Let me try to find it real quick and I'll read it off.
I saw that too. I did see that too. I think we retweeted at one point, but I think I saw that as well.
Okay. All right. I'll try to find your profile real quick. But here, let me pull up another comment here. Fam, what's up, bro? Exactly my point. JD had time before, but not now. Joe, this is it. Showtime, make a big pick. Yeah, like it's definitely frustrating.
Especially when you have Woody Johnson saying they're going to spend money. I have the money, I'm going to spend it. Okay, where are you spending it on? Like, don't talk. Like with the Jets, they talk the talk. Sometimes they don't walk the walk. Now you want to show it's a win now, and we're showing a sense of urgency that we want to win. We have higher standards that we want to upgrade our roster. Show it to us.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, I'm trying to find this Cortland Sutton thing. Okay, found it finally. Ryan Edwards of KOA Colorado said that he thinks Cortland Sutton is good with the Broncos and looks to be sticking around. Also said that the Giants viewed Russell Wilson as a backup. So, does that mean that Sutton is off the board? No, but it would be a lot different if he reported that, Sutton could be on the move or something like that. And the team moved on from Judy.
Yep.
So, which, I mean, they cleared a lot of money doing that. So do they really want to just, because if Sean Payton gets 4 wins this year, I don't think he's sticking around.
I mean, this is his true vision. This is true rebuild right now. I think you don't want to give away too many core pieces and be like, our quarterback sucks. Like, well, you had all these receivers, you got rid of all of them. I kind of thought once Judy went, I think they find a way to keep Cortland Sutton. So,
yeah, Yeah, I really wanted Joe Douglas to sign Ezra Cleveland. Yeah, I did too. I mean, he had the chance to get him last off season, last trade deadline, I believe. Didn't
Yep.
do it.
No, let's hope.
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet, man. Yeah, Mike White is a great backup, but we do got Tyrod now, so
Yeah, a lot of moves still to be made. Like it's I know it's a reaction. Like the start of free agency, everybody's like, I hate Joe Douglas. We stink. We're terrible. Then he'll make like 2 or 3 moves, just like last year. Everybody hated him, make up moves, everybody's quiet again. So it's like you got to give it 2 or 3, 4 days. And yeah, and then maybe tonight at midnight he signs 2 more players and makes us happy. So that's an interesting comment though. If the Mike Thomas with the Saints, is that a guy that piques your interest at all?
Let me find it real quick. Melvin, what's up, man? Not for the Jets. I feel like Mike Thomas would be a good fit for like one of these like Baltimore or Buffalo, where they already have like their vision cut out offensively. Yep. They already have numerous. First of all, they have. Nobody really thinks Baltimore is going to be a 7-win team. Same with the Bills. Same with the Chiefs. Yep. I don't know if the Jets are in a primary position to say, okay, Michael Thomas, you're the number 2. Guaranteed. We're going to count on you for the 17-game season.
Yep.
You know, but I do like Mike Thomas. I think he would right now be somebody who I'd want the Jets to add after another receiver.
Yep. I agree.
Lewis, thanks so much, bro. Really, really appreciate that, man. What do you guys think about DJ Chark? I like him.
I mean, how high is he on your list?
I would prefer Hollywood Brown. I prefer Higgins, Ridley, Boyd. But Chark has size and speed, which I like.
Hollywood Brown's interesting because of his speed as well. That's kind of like a vertical threat the Jets desperately need. But I mean, how much are you going to pay for that speed in this market? That's the question.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to hit on real quick before, we wrap it up. We talked about the names before, but Mike Williams specifically and Keenan Allen. What are your thoughts on those 2 guys? Because the Chargers are still, I believe, over the cap right now.
Yep.
And if they move on from Mike Williams, they can save 20 plus.
I'd rather Keenan Allen over Mike Williams.
Same.
You know, the Chargers are in deep trouble, man. They have so many freaking cap problems. But now, do you think they're going to try to see if they can get a trade done, or do you think they release them?
I mean, I would assume probably a trade because, teams know that the Chargers are kind of desperate to clear cap.
Yep.
But like if that's the case and you're the Jets, again, a desperate team at wide receiver, well, actually, no, because if the Chargers can get him, then you can just pay him on the open market, keep a draft pick and not pay him the 20 mil.
Exactly.
But it opens up the door where it's like, okay, Mike Williams now can go to these contenders.
Yeah.
And there's going to be teams, wide receivers are getting paid a ton. So it's not like Mike Williams is going to be cut and then just sign a 1-year, $5 million deal with us, so you can make an argument 20 mil is like reasonable for a potential wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Potential wide receiver 1.
I'd take Keenan Allen on a heartbeat, man. And that's something that's really, really intriguing. Or do you play hardball at the Chargers? Be like, if you have these guys, you're over the cap. You may be forced to make cuts you don't want to make. So you could force their hand a little bit too, Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Hey, thanks so much, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, obviously the likes help out a ton. And dude, the super chat, man, means a lot. Zach Wilson with a good O-line and no pressure will be good. Just watch. Hey, I got an autographed Zach Wilson jersey.
I got like 4 Zach Wilson bobbleheads. I got all kinds of stuff. I don't hate him, but I mean, I wish him well. I do wish him well. You don't want you want to see him move on and change his story. Hopefully, helps him. But I have much more faith in Justin Fields than I do Zach Wilson at this point.
So Azuma says no to Deontay Johnson. Yeah, he's going to be like the type of player that like makes like an incredible play, but doesn't really give you like those like just solid play. It's just like one great play, one drop, one crazy slant, taking 20 yards.
The drops, and the taking a play off here and there is going to piss a lot of fans off. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. James, North Carolina Panthers gonna go. Yeah, I could see the Panthers being a great fit. Spencer, what's up, man? Cheers from Vancouver. Skull. Yeah, dude, Minnesota. changing of the tide. No more Cousins. Got Darnold in the mix. Potentially drafting a new quarterback too at
They got to
11.
But they got to pay Justin Jefferson though, man. They got to give him that big contract.
Yeah, true. See you, Toads. Thanks so much for hanging out. Let's see. DJ Reed tweet.
Did he do another one or just the last one he had?
I don't know. Let's see. Is DJ Reed breaking news?
I think it's just.
I mean, you got to think that the restructure is coming, or the extension is coming with him.
Gotta be. Yeah, nothing new. It's the same as from one from before.
No. Okay. Let's see. Last one here, and then I think we'll wrap it up. And then Tyson, if you're down later this week at some point,
100%.
Hop on live again, or if you want to actually do it on your channel,
whatever you want.
Be cool. Not to just invite myself. But if you want to do it,
your channel is my channel, man. No big deal.
Dude, imagine it'd just be hilarious. Like, you're posting vids on my channel, like without me, and vice versa.
It's crazy.
We just joint channels. All right, Michael, how would you guys feel with Hollywood Brown 2 years, $20 million? Dude, I would sign up for that right now.
Hey, look what Mooney got. That'd be less than Mooney, because Mooney got like 13 million a year, didn't he? Like 3 years, 39.
Yep.
Hollywood
Brown. That's a freaking steal, man.
Yep.
It's $10 million a year. That's less than Lazard.
Yep.
Lazard got 4 years, 44.
Yeah, brutal. That's a good question in the chat too, because I've seen this. I'm a Notre Dame guy, and it says, "What's your take on Joe Alt this draft? Do you think he could fall and be our pick at 10?" And the mindset behind that is 3 quarterbacks go. You have a run on receivers, and then it gets interesting where maybe he does fall based on how people evaluate him as opposed to other people. So, do you think there's a world that actually happens?
Nah. I just don't. I think Alt is just too good to just not, or just to fall to the Jets, or not to the Jets specifically, but to to 10. But I love him.
Would you go up to 6 to get him with the Giants? Because the Giants may need to trade back to just get draft resources now.
It depends what we do in free agency, man. Like if we go out and we sign Tyler Boyd and DJ Chark, right? We get a right tackle. Now I would be more inclined to move my 3rd and 4th and stuff like that. But if we just get Bakhtiari and that's it, no, I'd probably want to hang on to 10 and the 3rd rounder and whatnot. So Keith, Simmons just signed with Jeremy Chin just signed with Washington like 10 minutes ago here. And then I think, let's see, 5 o'clock, man. Yeah, I mean, there's still, let me just, before we end it, last thing here, I just want to rattle off just big names, whether they fit the Jets or not. Here we go. Daniil Hunter, Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley, Chase Young, Connor Williams, CJ Gardner-Johnson. I think Kyle Duggar got franchise tagged. Eric Armstead, Cameron Curl, Xavier Howard. Let's see. Justin Simmons, Tyron Smith. Damn, I did not realize that Stephon Gilmore was a free agent.
Yep.
Anyway, Bakhtiari, Calais Campbell. That was the guy that the Jets targeted in last year's offseason. Yep. Tyler Boyd, OBJ, Charles Leno, tackle from Washington. I mean, man, there's Devin White, linebacker from Tampa. Jordan Whitehead is still out there. Julian Blackman from Indy. Seitler, Poyer, Trey White, DJ Chark, Josie Jewell. There's a lot. KJ Osborne, Van Jefferson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. There's tons of names, dude, still out in the open market, not even including trades.
Well, the wide receiver market's going to heat up at some point. There's going to be a run shortly where something just be one sign is going to trigger like 3 or 4 within a matter of like a few hours. So it's just a matter of when and who the player is, I think.
You got to think it's Ridley.
It's got to be. Well, isn't now the one thing with Ridley is are they delaying it so the draft compensation will be different tomorrow? So it goes from like a 2nd to a 3rd, right? Is that what it was?
If he goes back to Jacksonville.
Right.
Supposedly New England, like we were talking about before, New England's making a huge push for him.
Right.
But the longer it takes, I would say the more so chance he winds up back in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Jacksonville is the team that took a shot on him when nobody else did. Yep. So I could see him going back there. But once he signs that deal, the agents of these new, of these wide receivers are going to be like, okay, this is the standard. We're going to move forward from here. But I think that's going to, someone wake JD up now. I think that's going to do it for us. Appreciate everybody for, stopping by, hanging out live for over an hour. It felt like 10 minutes, dude.
Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again, maybe some point this week or something like that.
Absolutely.
That'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks so much for everybody hanging out, stopping by, spending your Tuesday with us. And yeah, hopefully we will be back with
more news.
More news later. No breaking news now, but good news later. So thanks so much. And as always, go Jets.